Hi subscriber friends and viewers. In my previous video I showed you how to maintain your mixer grinder. Now I am going to show you how to stop leakage of a worn out mixer grinder bush shaft like this. It is badly used without oiling. I repeat, it is used without oiling, that's why it wears out so much, and effect of this is it will leak water. Suppose any chutney or anything is made in this container, it is going to leak because of this play in the shaft and the bush. See, it wobbles like this. It wobbles so much and there is no oil in the middle. That's why there should be oil in the bush and shaft so it will not wear. And that oil must be edible oil. Now I will show you how to replace this bush and shaft so that you will have a leak proof, not leaking mixer and grater. Here I have filled it with water and I am going to show you, because of this where I showed how much it leaks. After some time it will keep on leaking like this. See. Drops, water comes down. It is dangerous for the mixer motor because below this coupler is connected to the motor coupler, and motor coupler has a shaft driving it, which has a cavity from the body, that is a plastic container of the mixer, and the motor. So this leaking water will go straight into the motor bush and motor winding, causing it to burn out. So be very careful not to use such a worn out mixer pot or mixer container ever for grating or any other mixer procedures. See, it is leaking so much water within 15 to 20 seconds. All this water would have gone into mixer motor. So I will show you how to replace the bush and shaft. To fix this problem, we have to disassemble this bush and shaft because it is leaking, causing nuisance to us. I told you in my last video to hold these blades, because these are very sharp blades, in some sort of cloth so that they will not cut your fingers, and turn this coupler anti-clockwise to remove it. Whatever components are underneath this coupler must be carefully kept so that they will not wobble here and there, go down, and you may lose them. So be very careful to keep these components very safe somewhere. I am keeping them here like this. So this I should not remove because it is not required to remove it, because we are replacing the bush which is worn. This is the bush, this is called as the bush, and this is the shaft. Now you can see the shaft is good, nothing wrong with the shaft. So I will not replace this, I will replace the bush. How can I tell you that this bush is worn and that I showed you it is leaking water, but how can I show you actual leakage reason? See, it is worn so much, it has developed so much play because of running without oil. I repeat, it was running without oil, that's why it is worn so much. Now to counteract this, I have to replace this whatever called as bush bearing. This is called as bush bearing. It can be driven down from here. I'll show you the procedure how to do it. Now to support this flange or the base of the grinder with some sort of tube so that it will not crack when I hammer it down. So like this we have to support it. Hold it like this and then use a punch or push rod like this. If you have a person which has hydraulic jack or something, you can ask him to do it and just hammer it down like this. So it has gone down. The bush was driven down by hammer and this push rod. This is a specially made push rod. Internal diameter is the internal diameter matching to this bush. This rod gets correct right into this with some play, and this flange is to support this bush area for driving it out. Now this diameter is less than this internal diameter, slightly less than this bush, so that it can easily go down with the bush. This rod can easily go down with the bush. Bush fits in here. Okay, so let's go further. we'll get a new bush, drive down. This is a new bush. So when we support this base from here, keep it in the center so that it will drive in the center. I don't want to break my sheet, so I'll use this. See, bush has started getting into the slot, or getting into the bore. Now, why this is required? I don't want to break this flange, so I am supporting the internal this surface using this bush. Now I must hold it properly in the center, then I can drive down. Start and coming in. Some little height is necessary to avoid blades. See, these are blades. If I keep it down, the blades, this and this one, will touch the bottom, which I don't want. So I have to drive it still further. See, I have driven down the bush to just almost correct height or correct depth, whatever you call it. Now I can check it using this bush and shaft inside the bush. It is almost correct because it is slightly, if not almost touching the bottom. Now when a washer which is supposed to fit here, when it comes, it will not touch. Suppose you want little more height, you can press it down still further, like this. Want little more height, so I will press it down still little bit further using a little bit of tap, like this. It should be enough. I will check it whether the height is correct or not. This is necessary because this should not touch with the washer. This blade must not touch the bottom. It is rotating freely, that means it is not touching, otherwise it will make scraping sound. So now it is not making any sound while rotating, that means it is not touching. So the height is correct. Now as usual, we have to oil this shaft and put it back into the bush, and then assemble the rest of the components as I showed you in my last videos. Now oiling, as I told you in my previous video, all mixers or juicers must be oiled with edible oil only. Only edible oil should be allowed, otherwise petroleum products will contaminate food and it may not be good for body. See, like this. Little bit oil must come from here, showing that the bush shaft is perfectly matching. Now I will put some other washers which were there before I removed it, like this. Now loading spring, like this, and the motor coupler. The other way around, if I rotate, it will tighten. Done. Now there is no play. No play at all. So now this pot will never leak. Never means if I keep on using it with proper oiling, it should not wear and then it will not leak. At least for 1-2 years, 2 years at least, I should be happy with the mixer container. Okay, this is how to replace bush of a leaking mixer grinder container. Thank you for viewing. Please subscribe. Thank you.